Good morning, good afternoon, and good whatever time it is, and welcome to another episode of Trevantine, podcast in which you get to hear the thoughts, feelings, and emotions of a high school 18-year-old being affected by the coronavirus. In today's episode, we're exploring how the coronavirus has been shaping a lot of our different career paths. One of my best friends even, is put into a unique situation recently, and I just want to help facilitate and tell that story. So, in this podcast, we cover three different sections: one, how Corona is affecting us; two, the headlines for today; and three, what I am doing today. So, let's hop right into that first segment. And Zach, would you care to introduce yourself?
Yeah, what's up, guys? So I'm ZACH KLUG. I'm a senior at Liberty North High School. Also, Trevor's tennis partner. Sadly, that season seemed to be cut short. Yeah, I'm really big into working out. Done that with Trevor before, so we got a lot of similarities. So yeah, that's kind of who I am.
Yep. So, Zach, personally for you yourself, how has Corona been affecting you?
So I'm really a people person. So I really like going to school. I enjoy going to school. So that's something I miss a lot, especially with some of my friends. With this being senior year, I was really looking forward to these last couple months, getting to be with them and kind of cherish those last moments. With prom and graduation, and luckily those are looking to be moved back to rescheduled to another date. So that's a good thing. But yeah, I get lonely easily, so I really like being around people. So it's kind of a bummer. But personally, something a little bit of a different aspect, uh, how Corona has affected me is my mom is the director of North Kansas City Hospital. So she has been very stressed out with a lot of the policies and the way kind of the business handlers have been dealing with this situation. It hasn't really been ideal for her. She's been frustrated with a lot of how the management has been handling things. Um, and a lot of the restrictions are definitely stuff that needs to happen, but stuff that kind of annoys her. Like she has to wear a face mask and a visor over top of that. So they're up to 2 layers and pairs of gloves. And they have to keep their shoes and clothing all in a room. And it can't leave the hospital. So she's in a very unique situation. So one of the things that her hospital kind of has been doing is one of the frustrating things that she's been coming home and talking about a lot was with kind of how they've been tracking the virus actually. So I'm not really sure how much I'm allowed to talk about this, but she says that the numbers on the news are not accurate. So that's just something that's been kind of eye opening to me. So.
Hmm. Does that like influence you too personally? Like, are you ever afraid that your mom might bring something home or?
Yeah. I mean, a little bit. I've pretty much just accepted the fact that I'm probably gonna get it.
All right. That's interesting.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm just joking. But she had she's had 3 people. So the issue with the hospital right now is they're kind of cautious with who they mark, and they have to pass a certain amount of tests um, of the coronavirus to be marked as an official person with it. So that takes a lot of time, and a lot of people, by the time they get to the third test, they already got rid of it. So the numbers on TV are a lot smaller than the cases that actually happen. But what that's causing, um, because of HIPAA and all the restrictions that they have at the hospital, um, a lot of people are going unmarked with the coronavirus. So my mom's had, I believe, 4 people on her floor that she manages go unmarked and contaminate. I believe my mom has had 15 of her nurses have to be sent home with coronavirus symptoms, along with other patients, and now they're restricting visitors as well. So her situation's been very stressful, but she's been handling it very well. Um, as soon as she comes home, she leaves her shoes outside and then goes directly to the shower, doesn't talk to anybody, trying to get um, trying to be as healthy as possible. So yeah, that situation's been kind of a little bit different for our family. Has seemed a little bit stressed out, but I mean, I can't blame her. She's trying to manage uh, over a couple hundred nurses at once. So
For sure.
that,
I couldn't imagine that, dude. That's a lot to handle, man.
yeah, I'm really proud of her. I mean, obviously she's gonna be, pretty upset and tired and grumpy when she comes home, but I feel like she's handling it very well. We're just kind of giving her space right now, and then on the weekend try and make it nice and relaxing, and then she's back to work. She's something else that a lot of people don't think about. It's hours. Um, because they have to restrict visitors at the front, and they have to test everyone who comes in the hospital to see if they have it. So 3 nights a week, my mom is working 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Because each of the nurses have night shifts now where they have to be the testers, and that's including management. So my mom's been having to do that 3 nights a week. So all the nurses are very exhausted with this situation. And if it keeps going on, I can't imagine how it's going to turn out. Because I mean, they're exhausted right now. I can't imagine, if this keeps going up for another month.
Mm-hmm. That's tough to hear, man. Bless her soul,
Yeah,
dude. That she's doing God's work. She's doing.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm really proud of her. She's handling it well, so that's a good thing.
That's good to hear. And your dad's a teacher at North too. Is he hating this online stuff too?
Um, it's been kind of a unique situation for him. He's a wood shop teacher, so how are you going to get kids to do wood shop? So he's kind of taken a unique thing. So what he's doing is they're having them draw blueprints for their next project. So he's kind of, relaxing. He gets to sleep in. So I think he's been fine. But yeah, we're all here to support my mom right now. So that's kind of the situation.
That's good, man. That's good. So, you were recently put into an odd situation. Can
Yeah.
you disclose some of that, or did you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and talk about that. So, last fall, it's senior year. Everybody's asking you, "Hey, where are you going to school? What are you doing?" And I had no plan. I had no like career path that I wanted to do. Uh, no way to pay for college really. So I was just kind of stuck. I was stressed out, and then I ended up going and talking with the National Guard first, and I was like, okay, well, this is a nice way to pay for school. So what they were willing to do, so the National Guard is a little bit different from the Army and the Reserves. Um, it's similar to the Army in that you're attached to a unit. So when your unit gets deployed, you get deployed with them, even though you're only working 1 weekend a month and 2 weeks in the summer. And then so that's how it's similar to the reserves. But the one of the main differences that sets it apart from the reserves and active is that you can also be deployed by the governor in natural disasters. So I really thought that was kind of a unique opportunity. I always wanted to have kind of a rewarding job, like something where you can help people, and make a positive impact on the world. So that's really what I was trying to go for. Something I was working on my feet, not sitting behind a computer desk all day. So, I thought that was a great plan, to plan for college. But then I didn't know what major I wanted to be. And I began, and I was kind of in a situation in my school year where I was like, I don't really like doing all this hard schoolwork. So I was like, well, maybe I'll just go ahead and I'll talk to the active Army recruiters and see if I can get a full-time job there. And so I was talking with the active guy, and he was like, yeah, so the best thing that you could do is you could take 3 years off of school, and then you get $100,000 GI bill. So pretty much, sorry, I worded that weird. So I would have been 3 years active duty in the Army, and then I would have gotten $100,000 GI bill. And the bonus of that is the GI bill is transferable to your wife or to your kids. So I could have my kids' college paid for, I could have my wife's college paid for, and I would be serving in the military. And I was like, that sounds like a great plan. I think I'm gonna do that. It's a full-time job right out of high school. I'm really excited, but I'm not gonna sign anything till after football season because you know how busy football season is. I was like, I'm not going to get my mind off football. So, around, and I was getting ready. I was thinking like active duties. The way to go. Join the Army, be gone next summer. And then I got a text from my National Guard recruiter, who I hadn't seen for multiple months because I was planning on going into the Army. And he said, we got this scholarship that you could apply for, to where you could get your room and board and tuition fully paid for while getting paid $1,500 a month to go to school and come out as an officer in the National Guard. And I was like, well, how are you going to turn that down? Get my school paid for. So then I was like, okay, I'll do that. I applied for the scholarship and ended up getting them. It's a pretty rare scholarship, so I was really happy with it. 4 people in each state get it, so it's not something that's really hugely advertised because it is a lot of money. So I was very excited about that. And so I went ahead and enlisted in the National Guard, which was one of the requirements for that. And so then, I got an email that said March 15th, you're going to come in and sign some papers and you should be good to go for the scholarship. And I was like, awesome. Sounds great. Like, I got my college paid for. I get to go to college. I get to, I get exempt from basic training. I get all these benefits. I get my nursing degree, which was something, I've always been interested in, biology and all that. So then March 15th rolls around, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this whole Corona thing started. And I was like, huh. And the National Guard's all busy, trying to figure out how to handle this because they're setting up tents in St. Louis and all that. And I was like, well, I'm surely by now they should have, called me in or something, because at that point all the government buildings were still open. I was like, surely they should have called me in to go sign my paperwork and finish up with the guard that. And I was like, hey, I texted my recruiter. I was like, hey, what's going on? He was like, yeah, I haven't heard from him at all. He's a little busy right now. It might take a few months. I was like, okay, that won't worry. So then last week, I believe it was this week. It was this Monday. I got a call, and he said, so turns out they changed the rules to your scholarship. And I was like, oh boy, like what happened? So now, I'm just an enlisted soldier. Like, what are they going to have me do? And so they said, you have to have 30 credit hours in order to be able to enroll in ROTC, which, I thought we were pretty close. In a lot of classes together, so I figured I'd be kind of close, but 30's a good amount. Figured that out. I didn't know how many I had. I had like 13. So I have to find 15 college credits before next year. And he said, also, you have to go to basic training and you cannot be a nursing major. And I was like, what the heck? Like, how are you going to change my entire plan? I was a little confused. I was like, well, I can't be a nurse anymore. I can't go to college next year. So at first I was a little upset, obviously, because, my whole world just got flipped upside down. My whole plan was next year. I was like, all right, so that's a little weird. So what am I going to have to do now? And so I pretty much have 3 options. So that bill that came out that said I can't do the scholarship, it's only guardsmen, like people in the National Guard, who cannot get nursing degrees now. And I was like, wow, like that's kind of, how specific did that have to be? The only major that they're not going to pay for, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's hundreds and thousands of majors, and they picked that one. I was like, great. So right now it's because the things didn't get signed and all that, it's looking like I'm going to be gone September 15th for basic training to April, which is when I get back from my job training. And then I will be able to attend school my sophomore year. And the benefit of that is I do come in as a sophomore because I'll be earning college credits while at basic training and uh, my AIT training. So honestly, I'm not that upset about it. I'm up for the challenge. I kind of signed up for it anyways. And this was my original plan. It's just I got to find a new major or transfer branches. That was my other option. And so I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do yet. Uh, but yeah, that's kind of the situation I'm in right now.
So what major are you gonna pursue now?
That's the thing. I really had my heart set on nursing. I
Mm.
really felt like, um, that's something I could help people for with the rest of my life. It's a good paying job. They're always needed. They're not going to go away. And one of my big things I was really excited about. I'm a really religious person. They do a lot of mission trips where you can go to different countries and help people out. So I was looking forward to kind of doing all that. So um, the thing that I've been thinking about doing is switching to the reserves in college and then potentially going active duty after college,
Mm.
which would be, kind of I feel like that's kind of the way I could get everything I wanted. I could have a job where I'm up on my feet all day, not behind a computer. I get my nursing degree. I get to go see the world. And I get the physical challenges, uh, that I have to maintain for the next, however long I'm in the military. So,
Sounds like a plan, man. So we got some fan questions here actually. This comes from Cooper Bratcher.
yeah.
It says, is it illegal for them to change your contract after already signing? And you might be able to argue that you're the grandfather clause that you joined before the new bill, so it shouldn't impact you.
Okay. So I guess I misspoke a little bit. So, what they had me do is they had me sign the first contract, which stated that, uh, which didn't that had a late ship date, and all that, and then so this new contract was supposed to come September 15th. Everybody says, make sure it's in your first contract. And I guess I didn't listen. So that was kind of my fault. But, I received emails from captains and majors that had the okay on everything. So everybody kind of put their word in saying, like, this should happen. So I guess I was a little bit manipulated.
Mm.
It wasn't in my original contract, but when a captain emails you saying yes, this is going to happen, like I totally believe them. Like this is one of the highest ranking people in Missouri. Like surely it should happen. And then the head of ROTC in Missouri also, I got his nomination. So it's like the head of ROTC in Missouri gave me the nomination. Surely I'm gonna believe him, right? But so that new contract, it was actually the new contract that was kind of my dilemma right there. So yeah, I should have put that in my first contract to make sure that was in there. So yeah, I
Mm.
should have listened to everybody who said make sure it's in your first contract. So
That fine print got you, huh?
yeah, I guess so.
So what you're doing now, is it like kind of like modified ROTC, or is it like you're going active then going to college?
Yeah, so I'm still going to be participating in. I plan to still be participating in ROTC when I attend Missouri State my sophomore year. I get a GF something. I can't remember the acronym for it, but I sign on to.
We might have. Oh, there you go. Never mind. You lagged out a little bit.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. So yeah, so I'm pretty much signing another contract when I get back from my basic and AIT training that states that I'm a cadet officer. And what that's going to do is it's still going to pay for my tuition and room and board when I attend Missouri State my sophomore year, and I get to participate in the ROTC program. And instead of drilling on the weekends, I get to go shadow officers because I had already graduated from basic and AIT, and I'm a cadet in the Missouri State ROTC program. So I guess that's a benefit of it. I get to supposedly, I'm saying supposedly now because, they always going to get you. but supposedly I'm going to be able to pick which fields I want to go shadow officers in. So that'll be kind of fun, so that I can get, different areas, build different areas of strength, becoming a leader in the military. So I can go do maybe medical one weekend, or I could go shadow, infantry one weekend. So those are my main two that I've been kind of looking at. So that'll be fun, kind of getting to experience and see all the options that are out there without committing. So
For sure. Now, are you doing the military, the 20 years, and then retiring, or what was your
I
plan there?
think my so originally when my contract that I was supposed to get on March 15th with the scholarship, it was going to be a total of 12 years, which is a long time. But because I would be non-deployable for my 4 years of college, it would just add 8 on to the end of that. So my first contract was going to be 12 years. Now I can get out as early as 6. So I guess that's kind of one of the things. But I could definitely see myself creating a career out of this. I love the fitness challenge. I love having adrenaline rushes. So I'm sure I'm gonna love this. I'm really excited about actually the new job that I think I'm gonna be doing next year is a combat medic. So I'm really excited to kind of do that, have a really rewarding job. But we'll see if that all changes when the bullets start flying. So
Oh,
you know,
yeah. I mean, yeah, you had a point.
yeah. So I still got all that training and all that. So
Hmm.
yeah,
So
I'm
after
excited right now.
you're excited for it right now, maybe
Yeah, I'm
later we'll
excited
have
right
to
now.
get you back on here.
Yeah.
So after your 12 years, what when you return back to civilian life, what are your plans?
Uh, it was get a nursing degree.
Oh,
So, yeah, so I guess I got to start looking at some degrees and all that, and find out some other jobs, because there's a lot of jobs in the hospital that kind of go unseen. I mean, obviously, nursing and doctors are the two main ones, and I don't want to be in school till I'm like 40, so I don't really want to be a doctor. But there's a lot of other jobs that they will allow me to do in the medical field. So definitely, I'm going to look into some of those. Maybe become a specialist in something. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunities that I still got in the medical field. So I'm looking forward to those.
nice, nice. Here's
Right.
an important question. Do you think Coach Jones' mentality has prepared you for the military?
Oh, definitely, 100%, no doubt. I think I'm excited for it. Uh, Especially with the coaching that they have, at North, really pushing us to be the best we can be. And I honestly think we're one of the most fit teams in the state. We just won a state powerlifting championship. So definitely the physical fitness aspect of it will definitely help, because I performed very well on my PT test, and so did Sam Bolo, and so did all these other guys in the military from the football team. With the coaching aspect, I'm not afraid to get yelled at, so I guess that's a benefit. So yeah, I'm excited. I really think that whole Coach Jones mentality really is going to help.
That's good to hear. Here's another question. How have you been? I guess don't you have like a workout rack at your house, like a
I
gym
do. I do.
flex?
Yeah.
So you just been carrying on like normal, huh?
Yeah. I actually been turning it up a little bit. I had extra time on my hands. I'm really trying to get better at running.
Hmm.
That's one of the things I'm going to have to get good at. Join the military, have to run several miles a day. So I got to start running. So
How
I've
far are
been
we
running
talking?
every day along. Right now I've so back when I ran cross country, the idea was train at 7-minute miles and see how many you can do. So right now I'm at 2. I ran 14 minutes yesterday for 2 miles. So now I'm going to just keep going for 3 and try and, get under that 7 mark. And then I'm going to go to 4 and just keep going. I am doing, my upper body and lower body workout. I'm doing my upper body 3 times a week, my lower body twice a week. In addition to that, I do 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 100 dips, and 100 hanging leg lifts in order to just kind of add a little bit of intensity to my workouts and to get better at the body weight stuff that I'm going to have to be good at basic training.
Dude, I feel like you're already set, man. You're ready.
I hope so. Yeah, I really want to, kind of get there. And one of the things that I really am happy about with this whole situation is I feel like it'll make me kind of a better leader, especially when, I'm working later in my military career and people are kind of looking at me, I get to go through the same thing that all the people I'm going to lead go through. I think that's kind of a cool thing. But really my goal is to, I guess I don't really want to stand out at basic training because then I feel like I'm going to get attacked by the drill sergeants. But
like in a good way or bad way? Stand out?
Both. I've heard the best way to get through basic training is just to lay low. So I guess that's kind of my goal. Obviously I'd like to, be good. I guess I can't really lay low because I've gotten to what do you call it? When you get upgraded, what's that called? Why am I blanking on the word? 2 promotions. I got 2 promotions already in the military, so I'm gonna come into basic a little bit higher than a lot of people. So I guess I kind of stand out already, but because it'll say on my uniform and my hat.
So, what do you, besides being able to help out, what are you looking forward to most about joining the military?
Definitely serving my country is definitely kind of a big one. I really want to, help people out around the world. We just read that book, A Thousand Splendid Suns, right? Well, I guess you didn't. But it kind of showed like what life was like in other countries and how people can kind of be, pushed over in not good ways. And I guess I kind of want to stand up for them, just like we have been. That book talked a lot about like what it's like living under Taliban rule and all that, and just how messed up it can be. And that kind of got me fired up. I was like, man, we got to go help these people. I want to help the people around the world while also protecting the people of our country. So those are a lot of the things that I've been thinking about. And it doesn't change really my lifestyle at all. I'm, as you know, I'm a morning person, right? I'm up at 5 a.m. every day. I love working out, so I don't mind getting yelled at. So I'm pretty much getting paid to do what I've been doing for the past 3 years. So I'm totally cool with it.
Sounds like you're set then, man. Well, I'm sorry that you had the sudden change in what was already planned out.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm excited for what's coming now.
I'm sure you'll make the most out of whatever happens, man. Knowing you.
Yes, sir.
And it's also a bummer that we are missing out on our tennis season, but what can you do?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. And volleyball.
And men's volleyball too. Dude, I have to get those guys on here.
Yet?
Not yet.
Yeah, that should be the segment next Tuesday. Men's volleyball team reacts to canceled season. That'll be fun.
Yes, I'm writing that down right now because that's awesome. Brilliant. We'll get that on, and then maybe we'll have to get a bunch of people who are going into the military on in another future episode. I know Mr. Austin Haas going to West Point.
Yeah, Presser, Alex Miller, Sam Bolo. I know a lot of people. Blake Carmen's, I think he has a couple meetings. He just got his physical done. I'm not sure where he is in the process. I know Andrew Stevenson's talked to a few. Spencer Troyer just got a scholarship for the military. So yeah, there's a lot of people who I think I counted at 1.8 people from our football team were going, 8 of the 22 seniors. So that's pretty cool.
Wow, yeah, that's good to hear though, man.
Yeah.
Well, Zach, I won't keep you on too long, man. I know online school got you busy, huh?
Hey, yeah. Thanks for having me, man. This has been a lot of fun.
Anytime, dude. I love
Hopefully
having you.
I'm back Tuesday.
Yeah, let's hope. It might have to be Wednesday because Tuesday I have someone in retail coming on.
Oh, sounds good, man. Hey,
Definitely.
we just gotta get me and you were the captain one day. The one day volleyball
We were
when she was like, yeah, that was my favorite moment of the season. When Coach John was like, "Got any questions?" And we were like, "Yeah," when we picking captains.
the little season we had. We
Of
we
one
had
practice.
we had one practice and we were all hyped up, and at the same time we were also like, what happens if Corona ends our season? And then next thing we know,
It's gone.
it's gone, and everyone's like, we all like planned out our t-shirts. We were trying to buy headbands, shorts, and stuff. We were trying to get all coordinated up, but it happens, man.
Hey, good thing we got the summer volleyball still, right? They can't take that away from us. Well,
If we have summer.
if we have summer.
Did you see Coach Jones' tweet?
Yeah, that scared me to death.
That scared me too. Well, basically what he said was he was like, the administrator or the governor had just recently put out a release that we might be going into school in the end of May, and then if Corona keeps going on, then we'll go into June and maybe even July to make up those days. And then at the end he's like, psych, April Fools.
Yeah, I was like, what? It's
Yeah,
not good.
he got me, man.
He did.
All right, Zach. Well, I appreciate you coming on today. I'm glad you got to tell your story here.
Thanks for having me, man.
Anytime. Hey, keep washing your hands and make the most out of the time we're given.
Sounds good. See you,
All
man.
right. See you, Zach. And that was the wonderful ZACH KLUG. And man, that man's going through a lot with his mom being a nurse during this time. Um the whole military thing, our volleyball, our tennis season getting canceled. We had so much planned out, and we had everything down to the T. We had our tank tops strapped up, ready to go. We're ready for the tennis season. But I guess it happens, man, and this is something that no one's ever really experienced before. But it's our times to take it by the reins and just take control of the situation. So now we're going to go to the second part of our podcast, the second segment, where we talk about today's headlines. So this is coming from the New York Times as of 1 minute ago. First headline we have is, governments have promised trillions of dollars in desperate efforts to limit the damage. Yeah, I mean, they're going to keep trying to fork out money to figure out how to stop this job market crash, how to stimulate our economy, and how to keep things going. The next headline is that the U.S. job market is crumbling and Wall Street opens lower. People aren't going to keep their money in the stock market because they don't have money to keep, and they're just going to think, oh, let's sell now. We had Jackson Crop talking about earlier. If you have money in, you should just keep it in, man. You shouldn't be taking it out, especially whenever you could be doing your job to keep the stock market up. Next headline is, small businesses seek a share of $350 billion as some predict a chaotic process. I mean, big businesses are getting write-offs and they're getting the Trump bucks, so I feel like the small businesses should also. It's going to be very interesting to see how the rest of the world plays out, and how this keeps going out. I mean, this is why we do this podcast, to display the news and just keep like a small audio log on what it's like being around during this time. So I feel like it's my job to keep that present. And it's crazy. Small businesses are just going to keep getting, I don't want to say hammered down, but hammered down. My favorite coffee shop, I feel bad I haven't been out there, but then again, I'm also trying to minimize my time out in the public. Maybe what I have to do is online order something, DoorDash or something. But then I mean, like I said yesterday, it's that conflict you get into. It's like, what happens if these people have Corona and then they're giving it to you? Who knows? Next headline is, warning of D-Day. New York City pleads for doctors. That's clickbait. but I'm going to click on it. Headline under that is Britain has its deadliest day in the government's races for an immunity passport. Another headline I have to quickly decipher. Next one is data shows an income gap in limiting movement. I really don't understand that. I mean, there's always been an income gap between people, but I feel like limiting movement is something that needs to be done. And then the next headline is how coronavirus is causing confusion with terms like peak testing and lockdown. I saw somewhere that one of the infectious disease people in like the Trump administration is putting out there publicly that he's confused on why we haven't done a nationwide shelter in place, and I'm kind of with them there, dude, because we saw that chart yesterday where the whole southeast section of the United States was all covered in red because everyone's still moving around, no one's staying home, and no one's trying to flatten that curve over there. They were tracking people's cell phone data, which one I think that's kind of illegal. But I guess we all sign into it whenever we accept the cookies and stuff on our phone. But that's something has to be done, and apparently what we're doing isn't doing well. So what we got to do is just stay home. That's as easy as it gets, and go out only when you need it. When you need groceries, when you need food, when you need to work, if you can work at this time. Excuse me. Well, that D-Day article says that warnings against the New York City is days away from D-Day when the outbreak will overwhelm the healthcare system. It says that nearly 50,000 people have been tested positive, and 1,500 people have died in the city. More than 1,000 of them in the past week alone. Placing serious strains on the police department at a time when 36,000 officers have been asked to step up to enforce emergency rules intended to slow down the spread. Yeah, I mean, you're just going to keep getting people that want to leave, and they're just going to keep spreading this virus. And they're saying that New York is the epicenter, the worst part in America, and that might be true, but it's crazy, dude. And our infrastructure for now isn't really built on that. That's why that's why the whole curb thing was built, because we don't have enough beds to support the entire United States going to the hospital at the moment. So when we have a situation like New York, where New York is unable to help facilitate and hold that many people, that's when stuff gets tough. So this whole D-Day is really just them saying that more people are going to be coming in than they can help. I mean, there's already a ridiculous amount of people out there right now that we can't help, but the fact that we can't at least attend to them is probably what they're considering this D-Day. And then this next one is Britain has its deadliest day as the government races for an immunity passport. It says Britain is drawing up a plan to issue an immunity passport for key workers that would certify those who have recovered from the coronavirus and carrying antibodies identifiable by a blood test would allow them to resume their normal working life. So what I assume that means is that after you contract corona and you pass through and then you're not sick anymore, then you have all these antibodies in you, and then these antibodies allow you to not contracted again, I assume. It says the scale of any initiative is likely to depend on the government's success in rolling out any antibody test that shows whether people who experience light symptoms or none at all are likely to be immune from the illness. So yeah, officials announced on Friday that 3,605 people in Britain had died and up to 684 from the previous day. That sucks to see, man, but I'm glad they're trying to do something. Excuse me, I don't know, dude. I slept so much last night. Like, I went to bed at like 10:30. No, maybe like 11. And I slept till like 7:30, which is like more than I've been sleeping, but I've been so tired. I don't know, I've been getting worn down. From doing nothing. Literally, I've been chilling at home. Maybe the most exhausting thing I'm doing is my workouts, but even then I'm just like getting a little bit of a sweat on. I'm not getting like sore or like super tired, just because of the nature of these workouts that I'm doing because of my lack of equipment, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's something interesting to see, and that's like the people who printed out those things that said essential worker and they posted on their cars to have like a passport where if you're immune to the coronavirus, then you can just like continue your normal life. But even then, if you're immune, can't you still spread the disease to people who aren't? I don't know. I'm no scientist. I'm reading the news, man. So that's something I find very intriguing. And yeah, that's about it for the headlines. I guess now we just talk about what I'm doing for today. So today is an interesting day for me. I woke up, it was like 32 degrees out. It was raining, and it's just odd because it was like 2 days ago it was like 75, and I was chilling outside in a tank top and shorts, loving the weather. But it happens. You wake up, and your heater's on, and the next thing you know, it's 32 degrees. It's basically freezing out there. But yeah, I woke up, and my dad even recommended this to me, but he was like, maybe you should treat this as your Sunday, so you rest for your workout, and then just work out tomorrow and Sunday, and then keep going on your normal schedule. So I took that up. I woke up, made a breakfast burrito. I logged on to my online school, and since I don't want to say I'm smarter than the average bear, but since I got ahead of all my homework, I did all my homework like at the beginning of the week, so I could just chill the rest of the weekend or the week and the weekend. All I have today was I had to watch a 48-minute review video of physics, and then I have to maybe join in on a 12:30 online Q&A for calculus. I finished all the calculus homework. I have literally nothing to do. I'm just going to sit in and see if I can gain any more knowledge. Um, but yeah, I finished my schoolwork. It was about 9:30 when I did that. Now I was just kind of doing the waiting game until that online Q&A lecture thing happens. And I've just been chilling. I've been playing a lot of Animal Crossing. I'm starting to figure that game out a lot more. I might low-key stream that just because it's like such a peaceful and like it's a game that like puts me at ease, and I feel like I don't have to stress out about anything. But I guess the only predicament I have with that is it's on my big TV and not on my setup over here. I just moved it over to my big TV because it's more convenient. I don't have to like just sit there. But I don't know. I'll figure it out. I keep saying I'm going to stream, but I never do, just because I like ultimately get lazy and don't want to do it. But yeah, I can do that. I can stream Tetris. I'm either 2 or 3 missions away from completing MW2. I'm on one of my least favorite missions, which is the one where like all the people are like fighting each other and you're in the boneyard and you're trying to run through it. I'm playing on veteran. The first time I've ever played a Call of Duty game, or even like I've played Halo and Legendary, so I can't really say that. But like my first time ever playing Call of Duty on a veteran mode, and holy smokes, that is way tougher, dude. I thought I was gonna have an aneurysm yesterday. I was so upset. I was playing the state mission, and it's the mission where you're like running through the forest, but there's people behind you and people in front of you. So I'm getting like shot from the back, but I'm getting shot from the front, and it's like I don't know what to do, man. But I got so mad. I died like at least 25 times, and then I got super upset. But you get through it and you just keep playing. But yeah, I think that's about it. It's just I haven't really been doing much. I've been waking up, doing homework, doing the podcast, and playing video games. And not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just interesting, because you like to keep things funky fresh, and when you can't keep things funky fresh, then it gets a little stale. So I've been trying to do different things. I've been listening through all my old albums that I've been listening to. What sucks is now I can't go to album stores, record stores anymore. Can't buy any new records because they might have Corona on them. But you just do what you got to do. But yeah, that's about it probably for what I'm going to do today. That was today's episode of Trevantine. Love talking to my friend Mr. ZACH KLUG, my ex-tennis partner that never was a tennis partner because, to face it, we never got to play tennis. But that's the way it is, and that's the way it's going to be for a little bit. Keep washing your hands, and I guess until then, I'll catch you guys tomorrow.